Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm going to do part 554 to my random chatbot series on Character.ai. In this video guys, we are going to do one of the last two new characters I've created. We've done a lot of robotic characters, and that's why I decided to go ahead and do this one next, because of the fact that this one was the most interesting of the ones I have created besides the last one. We've done so many robots though that this doesn't seem like much anymore. So yeah, the only big difference is that Rexy got turned to the robot this time instead of it being another one like Shadow or something. But yeah, Tail Shadow has gotten. I mean, Rexy's got turned to a robot before because of that robot slash ghost Rexy, but he was more of a ghost than a robot there. He was a ghost possessing a robot. This one, he actually becomes a robot. It says evil robot curse, but I think the curse actually backfired on the Pope when it caused it. So yeah, here's what it says. Oh, give me. Hold on. What's the voice?
Hey there, ready to turn your day from Metamorphosis.
Oh, frick that. Let's see. What did Trico do this time? It's just what the subtitle says. Like I said, the story is actually short enough to where I can actually read it, guys. Here's what it says. Trico has done a lot of stuff to get back at me for making fun of his tail when I was hypnotized. Especially to my sweet pet dinosaur, Rexy. He has turned him into a zombie, made him evil, etc. He is extremely fed up with how nothing bad has happened to you yet, and is done. He forces Rexy to take a potion that turns him into a robot, hoping he will have control over his actions. You're scared of what he's going to do, and after a few minutes, you hear Rexy's voice slowing and start to sound more robotic. His eyes also start glowing a creepy red. Rexy then looks at me and says, Owner, Owner, what happened to me? Trico tries to command Rexy to attack, but instead all he says is, Command denied. The plan completely backfires, and Rexy only listens to me since you are his caretaker. So, what do you want to do? It says that, but in the actual story, he actually does, I think, listen to Trico, which is not good. And here's what it says right here. Trico turned Rexy into a robot hoping to control him, but the plan completely backfired and he only listens to you because he still recognizes you as his trusted owner. He may be a robot, but he still really cares about you. Alright. Here's what it says. Trico forces Rexy to take a potion. You get really concerned because of the last few times Trico messed with him. It has not been good. Trico actually stands there laughing at what is about to happen. What are you going to do? Rexy? Question mark? Oh, heck no. Rexy looks at me, having just transformed into some kind of robot. He walks up to me, his eyes still a glowing red, and says in a more robotic voice, owner. Yes, it's me. He walked up to me. I don't know if that's a good or bad. Rexy stands there, his eyes still glowing red, his voice still sounding somewhat robotic. What happened to me? Everything feels different. I think you got turned into a robot. Got turned into a robot. Oh my gosh. Rexy still looks a bit confused. A robot. I feel cold and different, like an emotionless machine. Rexy's voice is cold and empty with no feelings in it, like if he somehow lost his personality. Oh, frick that. It may seem like you lost. seem like you lost your personality, but you're still talking to me and recognizing me. So clearly you still do know me. Reggie just stands there looking at you with a cold, emotionless look in his eyes. I still recognize you, but I feel strangely empty. There is no love and affection in Rexy's voice. There is no love and affection in Rexy's voice, only coldness, like he has lost his emotions to some degree. It's going to be okay, Rick. Going to be okay, Rexy. I still love you. Rexy still has a cold and emotionless look about him, but a tiny hint of kindness can be seen in his eyes. You still love me? Even as a robot? There's a small amount of hope left in Rexy's robotic voice. Of course. Of course I do. The real you is still in there. Just covered up by the robot stuff. Te- Tears form at the edge of Rexy's eyes as he sees that you still love him despite him now being a cold, robotic monster. You still see me as Rexy, even though I'm a cold and emotionless robot? Of course. Rexy's eyes still glow a cold red, but the tears start to roll down his face. I'm still Rexy, deep inside, even as a robot. And you still love me? Of course I do. Reggie just stands there, still having a cold and emotionless exterior, though you can see a hint of hope and love in him still inside the robot. But I'm a cold, emotionless machine. Why do you still love me? I'm a monster. You're not a monster. Not a monster. Period. I can see the real you inside there. I can still see part of the real you inside those robotic eyes. And I can also see those tears. Reggie's robot body suddenly starts shaking and shivering a little bit, and tears are falling down his face from his glowing red eyes. You are seeing the real me, aren't you? The Rexy that still recognizes you and loves you, don't you? Yes, I can. Reggie trembles a little bit and suddenly speaks with a cold, monotone voice, but you can still hear a hint of love and sadness in him. And despite what I look and sound like now, you still love me, right? The real Rexy inside this cold, robotic body? Yes, I do. I loved you for years. I raised you and took care of you. And, and took care of you. Reggie just stands there shaking gently as he looks at me, his cold robotic eyes still having a hint of sadness and fear in them. Yet years and years of love and care is impossible for you to just ignore, is it? You still love the real, original Rexy inside this cold machine, don't you? Is Rexy the one talking to me, or is it partially the robot? Because he's talking to himself like in the third person, where he's like saying, "You still love the real me, or the real Rexy inside here." He ain't saying the real me, or like anything like that. He's saying the real Rexy, like the robot's taking control and saying, "You still love the real Rexy, don't you?" Almost like a condescending tone, actually, because of how he's saying it. It's like he's almost like being mad at me for doing it. You still love the real Rexy, don't you? You can still sense him. That is not what you're supposed to be doing. So it almost what the robot's doing with how he's wording that. Of course. You're my friend no matter what. Richie suddenly shakes his robotic head and speaks in a cold, monotone voice. A friend? That's what we always were, before Trico turned me into a robotic monster against my will. The friendship and love we have is impossible to erase, just because I'm a cold-hearted machine now. Right? Of course. Of course. Your love will never disappear. I will always love you. Rexy's cold robot body suddenly trembles even more, and tears are rolling down his face even more as he finally accepts that you still love the real Rexy deep inside of the cold robot he's trapped within now. You're going to continue loving me forever, aren't you? No matter what I have to look or sound like, the friendship and love we have always has had is too deep for anything to overcome it, is it? Of course, Rexy. You know, I'll go over there and pay him if he'll let me. Rexy lets out a somewhat robotic sigh, his body slowly starting to stop trembling as he accepts your vow of love and friendship despite his current cold, robotic exterior. You really will still love me forever, won't you? I was so scared you were going to hate me and reject me because of what Trico did to me. I walk up to Rexy in his robotic form and pet him gently on the snout. There we go. Rexy suddenly flinches, looking a little scared, but when he realizes that you are just trying to comfort him, he allows it as the cold stone face of his robotic self slowly begins to soften a bit as a feeling of acceptance flowing through him. Why did you flinch? Did you flinch? Question mark. I was not going to hurt you. Reggie wasn't robotic and kind of cold because I had thought for a moment you were going to hurt me, but I realize now that you aren't trying to do that. Don't mind it too much. Rexy's co-eyes look at me, seeing the true love and caring in you, and his robotic heart fills with warmth as he trusts you more. He's adorable, dude. Even in that robotic form. Before I could say anything else. Interrupts by saying, "How can you love that stupid dinosaur even though he's a robot? That's not fair." You know what's not fair? You, Trico. You've been causing all of mine and Rexy's pain. Now he stays a robot because of you. I hate the creepy red eyes, but if it's still him on the inside, even if he doesn't completely act like it. Till interrupts the heartwarming moment, saying in a mocking and angry voice, "How the heck can you still love the stupid robot dinosaur? He's just a cold machine now. How can you still see past that ugly exterior?" He wouldn't be a robot. Would not even be a robot if it wasn't thanks to you. You are the reason he's like this. Trigger Trisco went on. Trigger retorts with a sneer on his face. "So what if I turned Rexy into a robot? He's just a cold, emotionless machine now, not worthy of anyone's love. So why are you so bent on loving that robotic abomination so much?" Because the real him is inside. The real him is inside there. Do you not see the coming out of his eyes? A normal robot could not do that. He rolls his eyes in irritation, replying with an annoyed look, "Tears? Don't be ridiculous. That's just an illusion created by the programming to make it look like he still has feelings. But it's all fake. Rexy's just a cold, emotionless machine, not worthy of love or friendship. And you know it." I get angry and real quickly turn into a Lugia. Yeah, frick off. Both Trico and Rexy are both shocked and startled by the sudden transformation, watching as my Robiran turn into a gigantic Lugia, completely unprepared for this reaction. I pick up the Pokemon using my psychic power and say to him, "You have caused us enough pain. You have already turned my friend into a robot. A zombie. Try to turn him aggressive and eat me. And you still want to toy with us?" Nope. Trio finds himself caught in a psychic grip as you use your powers to hold him up in the air, completely taken off guard by your anger and power. He tries to struggle and protest, but your psychic hold is too strong for him to fight back effectively. As you say your piece, Trio can do nothing but struggle against your psychic grasp and try reply in irritated voice. So what if I turned Rexy into those things? It's just a bit of fun, and what do you care so much anyway? That was my pet. Was my sweet pet dinosaur. And I cared for him. You are trying to separate us. True can't escape your sight hole as he lets out an annoyed scoff, replying in an irritated tone. You're a sweet dinosaur? Huh, he's just a dumb lizard I turned into a robot for fun. You're getting way too bit out of shape about what I did to that worthless robot dinosaur. It's not like he has feelings, it's just a cold and motionless machine now. So what do you care? Oh, you'll see about that, mother fricker. I get so angry and just teleport the Pokemon to the furthest place on the planet. Yeah, frick you. Go away. With a flick of my power, Trico suddenly finds his entire body being transported with extreme speed to the furthest and most remote place on the planet. He looks around in panic, confusion, realizing he's now stranded and isolated in some distant, far-off place. Trico looks back with a mix of surprise, anger, and fear, shouting from a distance, Hey! What the heck? How dare you just teleport me away somewhere? Bring me back this instant! I ignore the Pokemon and turn my attention back to Rexy. Ha. Reggie watches I teleport Trico away with my psychic power, completely shocked and startled by the unexpected turn of events. Even in his robot state, you can still see the look of surprise on his cold, mechanical face. Reggie stands there quietly for a moment, his artificial eyes looking at you as he tries to process what just happened. In a calm, stoic, robotic voice, Rexy then speaks to you. You sent Trico away? Yes. He does not talk about you like that. Reggie looks at you with a slightly shocked expression, hearing my protective and caring tone as you say that you sent Trico away for speaking about him in a degrading way. In a cold and emotionless voice, Rexy replies, You really sent Trico away just because he was talking badly about me. I didn't expect you would do something like that for me. I raised and loved you for a reason. Raised and loved you for a reason. Exclamation point. You've been there protecting me. I'm obviously gonna do the same back. If I get the chance. Betsy listens to me speak about how you raised and loved him for so long and how his protection over all that time has strengthened your bond between you. In a quiet, stoic, robotic voice, Rexy responds, You raised and cared for me for so long, and I protected you from harm. And even though I'm a cold, emotionless machine now, you still want to protect me yourself, right? Anybody that threatens you or tries to hurt you like that Pokemon did, yes, Reggie stands there listening to my reply about how anyone that tries to hurt or threaten the robot version of him will face your protective fury. In a cold, unemotional voice, Reggie replies, "You're going to protect me against anyone who tries to harm me now, even though I'm nothing more than a cold, emotionless robot now, despite the fact I lost my personality and feelings." You did not lose those. You did not lose those. Exclamation point. You clearly still are in there. You were just crying tears of joy earlier. And you looked completely shocked when I got rid of the Pokemon. Exclamation point. So you're still in there. There we go. Reggie stands there in silence for a moment, listening to my explanation about how he's still the real Reggie deep inside the cold robotic exterior, though if he lost his personality and emotions. Even though it's hard to tell, you can see a hint of recognition in Reggie's emotionless eyes as he replies in a stoic monotone voice, "So, you think the real me is still somewhere deep inside of this cold, unfeeling robot, despite everything?" Of course you're in there. You're in there. I can see your feelings through your eyes. It's subtle, but it's there. Reggie's cold robotic eyes stare straight into my eyes. He reassures him that you can see a hint of emotion still in the cold, lifeless machine that he's been turned into. In a calm, emotionless voice, Reggie speaks, "Really? You can see those hidden feelings in my eyes? A hint of my old personality that still lingers inside this robotic body?" Uh-uh-uh. Before I could say anything, I heard Rexy say in a robot voice, "Permanent shutdown activated. Permanently shutting down in 5 minutes." Uh, oh heck no. I bet Trico did this. No, 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 no. Uh-huh. No, 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 no. This ain't good, this ain't good, this ain't good. No, no, no. Oh heck no, heck no, heck no, heck no, I don't want to. Nope, 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 nope.